Yeah, Eric had them all. Eric, we need another mic. Oh my god.
Check. Check.
afternoon, everybody, and welcome down south to Irvine, California, inside 5 Point Arena at Great Park Ice for today's edition of the Report Card on Facebook Live. Hi, everybody. I'm Eric. Chuck Lasik. The commish, Matt Blanchard.
Substitute yet again. No, Iceman again. It is Iceman again. That's right. That's right. True that.
But the good news is, I'm here. I wasn't here last night.
Oh, wow.
And that's really all that matters.
So, well, at least I'm here. I mean, I've been here the last couple of weeks.
I'm not on the screen right now, if you look.
Well, hey, as long as Iceman's watching, I don't know if he's watching or not, but it's always good to reference Iceman.
I think Iceman.
They still have one more game.
Oh, I don't have a tally. I don't even have a pen to write a tally with. So
we'll be second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to keep this mentally.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out. Anyway, we got a lot going on for the show here today. Of course, we're going to have our All-Star Game recaps, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the league in the last few weeks. We're not going to talk about the first and second all-time teams in the Anaheim High School Hockey League, but we are going to tease it a little bit and talk about that as it comes.
Well, these guys could probably mention a few names. Our guests.
They might know some.
Well, actually, speaking of All-Stars, we might have a couple here, too, so you never know. We'll wait and see.
Oh. Wow.
Why are we standing, by the way?
I'm not standing.
Oh. Is this a new thing?
I'm floating.
We have a stunning lack of tables.
Exactly.
That's what I've noticed.
First class.
Hey, we made it work. Right?
True.
We just have 48 people standing behind a barricade.
Yeah.
We got the backdrop, the logos there. Everything's fine. Christian's saying he can't hear me. Are we having a problem here with the microphone?
Does Chuck need to take over?
Do I need to lead it?
You want to talk like this?
Talk on his microphone? Will that work? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this for now until we get this solved. This is not the weirdest thing that we've ever done in the history of this show. And
I think we're family.
I'm gonna take this off then, and we'll just do it like this. This is the worst day of my life all of a sudden. Anyway, let's start off with our guest before this gets any more awkward, of course. We have the JSerra Lions with us today, and that's probably one of the more important things we need to talk about.
Very important.
Down the line, we got Jeff Noviello, the head coach. We have Jake Hager with us. Of course, Luke Spencer is standing right here. To Chuck's left and in the middle is Connor Clark. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here today.
Yeah, no problem for having us.
All right, you guys had a pretty big game as far as the standings are concerned this morning. I'll let anybody take this question. How was that game against St. Mary's today, and how do you feel with your regular season now in the books?
It was a really good effort, I think. I mean, we're playing as a team now, and we're really peaking right now at the end of the season, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think we really fed off last night's energy in our game against Damien. We really came together as a team, and coaches and players for a good win.
Let's talk about Luke. You talk about energy as I'm being remiked here. You took a shot earlier in the game.
Yeah.
When you went down and blocked a shot, you were limping around for a little bit. We talked about it on the air.
Yeah.
It's hard to move. And then another shot came in, and you had a look on your face like, "Are you kidding me? This is happening again." What was that play like for you, in your words?
Well, I took the first shot, and it hurt pretty bad. But I don't know. I saw another one. It's honestly instinct at this point, just to do everything you can to, especially at this point in the season, to pull together as a team, whatever that is, whether it's blocking shots or scoring goals.
I've got a quick question. You guys, I've known your coach for a while, and he's probably one of the more, he's not a unique guy, but he does a lot of different things. Let alone play ice hockey. He's grown up. He's lived back east, and he's also the surf coach for the school, as you guys, I'm sure well aware. I don't know if everybody else there, but he coaches the surf team. Is he as lax as he appears in the locker room as he does on the bench?
Sometimes.
That's a loaded question. Wow. Because when you watch him on the bench, he's got a very calm demeanor. Does he get to the locker room? Does he ever light up, or does he leave that to the other coaches to do in the locker room?
Depends how disciplined we are.
Yeah.
We're taking penalties.
Well, you guys have been yelled at lately, but yeah. Sorry, coach. No, it's
okay. It's okay.
So Jeff, what is it like coaching the surf team? I mean, how does that work in relation to hockey? How does that schedule work for you?
If you could imagine the polar opposite of hockey, that's what it is.
Okay.
No, it's a laid-back vibe on the beach at all times. You know, everyone's just happy to have their feet in the sand. But the competitiveness in a heat is different than a team event in a game. Right, we're there on the beach competing as a team, representing our school, going against another team, but they're individual heats. So it's a completely different feel, but nonetheless, you know, I love the fact that the kids are representing their school and their teammates.
Any guys on the team surf?
No, we have one that acts like it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Hey, I'd like to chime in on the block shot question earlier. I think what's really important with that is it shows the teammates his level of commitment to the success of the team. You know, when you're taking hits and make plays and you're blocking shots, I like hearing the guys on the bench cheering for that as much as they do a goal, because that's really showing the courage and the determination to help your team.
You know, speaking of courage and determination, I'm going to go to the fourth-year senior, I guess fourth-year senior, just the four-year man, Hags right here. And Jake, you're playing defense right now. It's kind of a offset from you were forward the first two and a half years, something like that.
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, basically. But how do you feel about defense right now? Honestly, I think and I've called you the silent assassin, because what happens is you remain silent, but when it's time to take over a game, puck's on your stick. It's your game. Do you take that as a personal responsibility?
I could put in whatever coach, center, defense, probably defense. I just feel like I'm better naturally there. Just do whatever I can.
I swear you've grown 8 inches, and since I've seen you as a freshman as well. Honestly, you're just an imposing force. So it's just amazing player. One of my favorites in the league, to tell you the truth.
That's a nice compliment.
Exactly, I do.
9'7".
Well, I think I saw him in the line one time, and I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly. He was wearing skates too. My goodness.
Okay. All right, so you guys' regular season is and of course the state championship here in do you prepare for the playoff games, or what's that going to look like here in the next month, Coach?
Well, we got a lot of practice time coming up, and we're going to try to incorporate a couple of scrimmages in there to keep the competition going. You know, because too much practice can be painful for the guys. You know, when they're hearing us barking at them and making changes and whatnot. But we're excited to get busy on some things that we can clean up, and we're going to get out of here this week.
If they can take business against Santa Margarita, you guys are going to be deeply regular season champions. So you've done what you can. How do you feel about the team? And this is for anybody can answer this one. How do you guys feel about your progress as you're going into a break before you head to the postseason?
Connor, take that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in our team right now. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we lost to some teams, but at the end, when we played them again, we're beating those teams by more than 3 goals. I mean, we're ready to go.
How was it to sweep Santa Margarita?
That was amazing.
That felt good.
That was so like,
That felt good.
the highlight.
Yeah.
Probably the highlight.
I mean, is it safe for me to assume they're your biggest rival, even though you guys played them early in the year?
Yeah.
You guys really, that was the game?
Yeah.
Those are always going to be heated games, you know, and we love it. The kids love it. The coaches love it. You know, that game seemed like an eternity ago, and both of us have changed a lot since then. So I'm looking forward to our next game against.
We did a top 5 games of all time for the league, regular season games, and the JSerra Santa Margarita game was voted number 1 from 10 years ago. I think it was what it was.
Yeah.
And you guys weren't even, you guys weren't aware of it, but the game ended in a tie. We had ties back in the league back then, so
and fights too.
And Santa Margarita scored with half a second left to tie it. So that's when Chuck started the whole rivalry thing. So I mean, that rivalry's been going for a long time now. I think, yeah. So I mean, it's either them or Bellarmine for you. I mean, what do you think about the Bellarmine squad? You guys go up to San Jose. How is that San Jose trip for you as a team? Is that an early season? You guys go late in the season, so is that just a bonding trip for the team, and you guys bus up? Is that how it works?
Come together a lot.
It's a different experience than playing like your normal games here, because you're together the whole time. You really prepare together, and
we're always like in the same rooms together.
Yeah.
Go on the same bus to the games. So
Do you feel that was a turning point in your season, or helped it keep turning around?
I think it was. I think that's where we started to peak up.
That and when we went to Vegas, I'd say we.
Well, there's another one.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the Vegas weekend?
Loved it.
Yeah, good.
Loved it. We played some good hockey that weekend, and guys are spending time together. It's always good to get away.
The hotel's pretty nice. Did you guys win any money?
No, stop it. Wow, bad influence on the other end there.
The IRS might be.
Or at least he doesn't run the league. Jake, you were out on this ice just about a week and a half ago in the All-Star game. What was it like to represent the Lions here in the brand new 5 Point Arena?
First of all, the arena is so nice. I love playing here. The All-Star game was awesome. Like usual, I had a blast.
Yeah. What was your favorite moment?
Seeing kids I played roller hockey with when I was 5, 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
Got to reunite with them on the ice.
How's the new locker room?
Oh, it's amazing.
It was great. It really is.
Yeah? I mean, what do you guys think about the walk over here, though?
It's definitely worth having the locker room, though.
I assume each one has your own stall and everything stays there. So, for example, how did it work today when you guys went in Anaheim? Did you stop by here first?
Yeah, after our last game, we had to take all of our gear home with us.
Okay.
Because we usually keep it in our locker room.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. It's really nice to put your stuff here.
So we brought it back
Okay.
today.
The tough part, you guys, for these three right here and our other seniors is this whole transition year for us. You know, these guys will always be remembered as the transition class. And, the fact that we're here now, they get to embrace it and enjoy it. Nothing we could have done about getting in there any earlier, but at least they get a little bit of time in there and hopefully a long run here through the playoffs.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I did want to ask Jake one more thing about the All-Star game. Can you hit the puck harder than 79.4 miles an hour, even though it was good enough to win?
I had you at first, and I took you off.
Have you ever had it measured before in speed?
No.
Oh, that's too good.
We did 4 years ago when we were practicing down at Shoot Score, but I think his shot's gotten a little harder since then.
I always ask the student athletes that are on the show with us, what are your plans for next year? What do you guys want to do? College, juniors? What are you guys thinking of doing?
For me, I'm looking at either club college hockey, and I'm still keeping my juniors off the table, but I'm probably going to do club.
What school are you looking at? Any particular ones?
Older, Colorado State.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, in the same boat as him, club hockey for college.
Yeah, I'm with both of them. Looking to go to college, have some fun
Okay.
playing hocky.
There you go.
Good. Is that just your coach recommend that, or you guys talk about with your families? Is that more of just a natural progression for you guys as student athletes?
I think it's more of a natural progression than anything. You really see like what you want your future. After playing 4 years of high school hockey, you get more of a feel of like what you want to make your lifestyle after high school.
Yeah. Oh, you guys going to the dance tonight?
No.
One of the three ain't bad.
And I think the one thing these guys know is that I know a lot of the ACHA coaches around the country, so wherever they decide to go, I'll be talking to those coaches.
Yeah.
I think that's the fun part of my job.
Absolutely.
Have you guys looked at this? Do you guys look at the standings and know where you are? Have you guys know where how the playoff seedings are? Do you know who you're going to be playing in the first round? Do you guys as players look at the matchups that you've got coming in front of you?
I don't really know after this weekend. I'm not really sure.
Talk
Maybe
about
some shifts right now because of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the seedings are pretty much set except for the top seed, which is between you and Santa Margarita. But even as a game, let's say you're going to play Bellarmine, for example. Do you as players say, okay, we got to think about this a little bit more when the playoffs come around? Do you as coaches review film or anything like that, Jeff?
Absolutely, but you guys answer.
No, absolutely. Treat it differently, especially when it's in the playoffs too.
There's a much different energy than playing a regular season game.
Yeah, the games are so much more intense.
You guys you've been around for a while. You can notice it because we notice it when we're watching it. I mean, it's really
Even
noticeable.
through it, everyone really buckles down because it's like this is it. Like this is where you're going. Yeah.
Do or die.
Yeah.
Just one last question, guys, at least for me, on campus life. What do you guys do on campus? You guys hang around, stick together? I mean, you guys have lunch? What do you guys do?
Yeah.
We sit at the same table.
Really?
Yeah, we're always together.
Always, all 4 years.
I think that's a big part of like team energy and chemistry too. Just like on the trips when you're always together, it's like you know them off ice, not just as a hockey player. You know them as a person.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you as a team support any? I know you guys get a really good soccer program at JSerra. You get a really good baseball program. Do you guys ever go out to any other sports? I mean, you guys play anybody play lacrosse on the team?
I got a buddy who plays lacrosse and rugby, so I can.
Okay.
Blake really plays cross.
Yeah, Blake plays cross too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The baseball teams are pretty good. You guys ever got a baseball game?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah?
I have.
Football games mostly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They got that #1 pick of the nation last year too, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
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 I think they're retiring his number at the high school, from what I heard. They're going to do something like that from this season. Not bad. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us here today on the report card. Much success throughout the playoffs and through the state playoffs as well.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys back over here, and good to see Jake has grown another 8 inches.
Okay. Thanks for coming out, guys.
The JSerra Lions joining us here today on the report card. Jeff Noviello, Jake Hager, Connor Clark, and Luke Spencer. Boys, let's do this. Ready? Let's spread out. Watch what we can do.
Oh yeah, you can't see us.
Through the magic of television.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
How about that? We have room to breathe.
Okay.
This actually worked out without the actual chairs.
See? I
No
told
table.
you. You
We
think
have
outside
a
you
little
gotta,
bit of flexibility. The logo's in the
I
middle
feel like
now.
a nun's
You
gonna
think
beat me
outside
in
the
a
box
second.
once in a
Jeez,
while.
My goodness. Here we go.
Way to go, Chuck. All right.
Well, now the problem is they got to run around behind us, and everybody can see the JSerra guys leave. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Can see him leave the building.
Yes.
Well, there was a big event here at 5 Point Arena just about a week and a half ago. Of course, we had the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League All-Star Games. We had the JV game, the varsity game, and the senior game. We're going to talk a little bit about those. And you're going to have to count on your memories because I didn't put it in the script. So
Wow.
Chuck's looking at the paper.
I'm going. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
All I know
my
is
paper's
that
gone.
the JV game was kind of it was like who could score first, basically. I mean, it was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It ended up being 2-0. There was a goal late in the second period, early in the third, or something like that, and then I believe there was another goal scored in the third, and that was about it. I can't tell you who scored them, and I'm sure you might, but
That's the one thing I took away from the entire day, though. All 3 games were very competitive. I mean, I think they put goalies in all 3 games.
Exactly.
Yeah, they did. They were all close.
That's
we
the
were
one
worried about
thing.
it. I think you and I were looking at the rosters before the game and went, "Oh my goodness, all the top goal scorers are on one team," and it didn't matter.
Well,
Everyone came out and
I wasn't too nervous about it. I made the teams.
trying to leave that part out. Yes, not.
That's the league's responsibility.
At least you didn't make the schedule. So
Well, the schedule is pretty good too, Chuck. Number 1 and number 2 in Division 1, down to the very last games.
It's going to come down to the last 2 games.
True.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll talk about that JV game that Chuck was mentioning. Team Jaguar beat Team Niedermeyer 2-0. Sam Schlegel from Carlsbad United had a goal and an assist in that one, but it was his teammate, his goaltender, who made noise coming in the second half of that game. Loudon Campbell was the MVP, stopped all 16 shots he faced.
And I'll tell you what, he was just peppered. Honestly, after that first goal was scored, he was just peppered. You had Team, was it Niedermeyer coming back? And Team Niedermeyer was just putting shot after shot on it, and he made save after save after save, and it was well-deserved MVP.
You know, you never see a goaltender win the MVP in an All-Star game.
No, never.
And
Honestly.
Loudon Campbell was able to make it.
We're goaltender friendly here, so yeah.
We were, especially in that JV game. I think during the discussion about who's getting selected and all this, there was a resounding Loudon Campbell was going to be on in this game. He was one of the higher-rated goaltenders, and he certainly showed it. So great decision.
No, it was. I think it was a good choice. I mean, when you shut out your opposing team in an All-Star game, that's usually a high-scoring affair. Seems like a logical choice to me.
And he played longer.
Even though I think there were rumblings in the building that it probably should have been somebody else, I think it was the right choice.
Yeah, and he played half the game. This wasn't a regular All-Star game where you played a period.
Yeah.
He had to do it for half of a game.
Yeah, that was good.
And he still was able to get it done.
Yeah, kudos to him.
Definitely.
So the JV game was certainly a fun one. The fastest skater was Solomon Sonnenschein from Newport Mesa in the skills competition, right?
Yeah.
Riley Frost won the hardest shot competition from Pacific Ridge. And then our goalie team of Jade Nero and Kevin Zamazal won the relay. Zach Martinez
You
won.
kept good notes.
My
goodness, wow.
Jeez, that's very impressive, young man.
How'd you only go to Cal State Fullerton with those?
Wow.
My goodness.
How did I go there with
How'd you only go to Cal State Fullerton? I didn't take notes. I still went to Cal State Fullerton. So.
Makes me feel great about myself. Zach Martinez from Olu won the passing accuracy competition amongst goaltenders as well in that JV game, so that was a fun time. In the varsity game, we got to see Team A Bear take on Team Maruchan, and this one had a little bit more goal scoring in it, but still close. It was 8-7 Team A Bear.
But don't forget, it was also 4-1 at one point too, and we were thinking, oh boy, here we go, here's a blowout. And I think it was Team Jaguar had the lead at 4-1, was it, or was it?
Team Maruchan had the lead.
Team Maruchan had the lead 4-1, and we were just going, oh no, here we go. But all of a sudden, some big goals scored by Team Jaguar towards the end. I believe our MVP. Actually, I think it was our second star. You guys chose a different MVP, but our second star was the star in my eyes.
Well, the MVP of the game, and maybe one of your favorite names to say in this.
Dylan. No. Clayton Davis Bracamontes.
That's right, from Bishop Amat. He won the MVP. Had a hat trick in this one, and he was.
Actually, you're absolutely right. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you want to talk about a guy with a nose for the net right there? You'll have to mention Clayton Davis Bracamontes one more time, just for the fact.
He's having a stellar year. I mean, he's having a very good year. So, he just rolled right through the All-Star game with it. So I think kudos to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Down in the end, as this regular season winds down, Bishop Amat has been knocking off some teams trying to climb even higher to the top of their standings. They are in third right now in their conference, so they're trying to find a way to get back up there. He's trying to do the best he can, but I'm not going to let it go unnoticed, as Christian Hilton is trying to fix some set pieces.
He's swimming.
And he's crawling on his stomach to be off camera for this.
How do you
quite
swim
impressive.
at the Great Ice Park?
So if the occasional eyes glance downward,
you'll know why.
Yeah,
exactly.
And this guy's taken not just one, but two for the team. He got some dust in the eye earlier, too, and he can barely see. So we need to get this guy a raise.
Well, Basie's happy because it's baseball season soon. So
almost pitchers and catchers.
Yeah, for the Monday.
College baseball begins next week.
That's right.
MLB 4 tournament in
back-to-back
talking stick. Let's talk hockey.
All right. Fastest skater in the varsity game was Ethan Hurst from Orange Lutheran. His Orange Lutheran teammate Aiden Hansen won the fastest goalie skater. Hardest shot, Noah Dolan from Tahoe Hockey Academy.
I chose that one too. I
think you did. Yeah,
I did.
He was in the 80s, I think.
That was a rock.
Yeah, he got it.
He got it up there.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah. And then, of course, the goalie accuracy competition won by Patrick O'Donnell, who seems to have won everything this year.
We'll wait and see. You know what? That's
he's got a big game tonight.
Big game tonight. It's senior night down at Icetown, Carlsbad.
That's
Santa Margarita. If they can win that game in regulation, that's going to go a long way for JSerra. Wow. So Lions are big Firebirds fans here tonight.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Final All-Star game of the night was the senior game. It was Team Korea against Team Solani. Team Korea won it 5-3, another close one, and a good plethora of goals. MVP of this one, Donovan Gutierrez from Corona Norco. And if you would have told me that a Stingray was going to win MVP of the All-Star game, I would have told you, yeah, probably, the way they've been scoring goals this year.
That's true. Yeah. That's right. I mean, you want to talk about where they've been averaging. We talked about it on air. The last 4 games, they've been averaging 9 goals a game or something like that, or 9.5 goals a game.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely outrageous. And it just shows you that things are looking up for their Corona Norco program, and Gutierrez is a big part of that as well.
And they're only a point ahead of Villa Park for first place in their conference.
Wow.
So, well, we'll talk about all the standings and all of that going on later, but an offensive explosion for Corona Norco this season. Gutierrez wins the senior game MVP. Your fastest skater was Corey Mater, who was honored last night. Yeah. Why are you...
Esperanza. I even under that one.
No. I'm not saying Esperanza, but still, there's the stick and the skate. The stick comes before the skate.
Oh, the fastest skater.
Come on. Listen, I'm all for Esperanza. I am. Trust me.
I can address that right now, Chuck, for you.
Huh?
Going to address the issue.
Going to address your issue. Granted, we did not have a rule set in place for that. We now have what we now know as the Corey Mater rule.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Where it's the skates that have to cross the line. We didn't.
My son would have won. I'm just saying.
Yep. So clarification, according to the rules this year, he won.
Congratulations to Corey.
Next year,
Esperanza brightly shines.
The Corey Mater rule was in full effect in every fastest skater competition
going forward. So no more diving. You can do it.
You can do it. Yeah.
Help you.
But no rules. You know what? That's why we stress academics at Esperanza, and Corey took it to the limit right there. So there it is, right there. It says it in the crew. Academics and athletics.
It may not sit well with the Reed family, but
Corey Mater, the senior, the fastest skater. He was honored last night too for with Placentia Yorba Linda in their game against Mater Dei.
Senior night there.
Senior night for them. Yeah, he's the only senior on the team, so that was a nice ceremony.
Well, bodes well for them next year.
Yeah, that's
got a lot of kids coming back, I suppose.
Jack Ferletic, goaltender relay, he was the winner there from JSerra. We talked to Jake Hager earlier. He won the hardest shot competition, just under 80 miles an hour. And Garrett Kennedy won the accuracy passing contest amongst goaltenders from Capistrano United, hitting those targets. That was one of the new competitions from this year. Fun also.
Once we get the radar gun thing figured out, I mean, I think it'll be better in the years to come. So yeah, we'll get that dialed in. But I like that. I like the fastest hardest shot. I like that. I thought that was good.
No truth there, really, that they took it from a cop that was just stationed outside right off of Sand Canyon right here. So we'll take it from there.
And I thought the show was okay. We had introductions for each. The videos were great.
And
big shout out to Andy Dickerson from Black Dog Hockey.
Yeah. They were great. They were great.
Yeah.
We had the one. This facility is not done yet.
Right.
So that event was put on with I don't want to say minimal, but the smallest support system as you could have.
Not the maximum.
Yeah. So next year we'll be back to our normal full-on firepower time. Yeah,
that was a good
fully operational Death Star.
Yeah.
A week and a half ago for the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League All-Star Games. We'll be looking forward to it next year. All right, let's move on. Let's recap some games. There have been a lot of them since the last time
I was on the game. Yeah, I know, a long time since you. A long time.
Not long since you guys were able to cover for me, and thank you for that, by the way, if I hadn't said it already.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was actually.
We got it covered.
This is true. I don't know if you guys know this. It was our highest rated show ever last week.
Really?
Yeah. I think we figured out what the problem was. So this will be my last show.
No comment.
Yeah. We had over.
It was the great cameraman last week.
That's what it was. We got close to 1,500 viewers last week, which is our all-time high since our first show we ever did in front of Anaheim Ice last year. So thank you to everybody for tuning in, watching right now, and for your support over these last 2 years. Let's move on to the recap. We start in Division 1. Back on January the 26th we go. Capistrano United beat Santa Margarita 6-5. Zach Lane, couple of goals. 9 other Coyotes had a point.
Great game, though.
Yeah,
it was a great game.
And they are moving right along as Capo. We saw them already win 2 games this week, too.
Yeah, my goodness. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get to that eventually, but Capo's just kind of like erasing that D2, D1 borderline right there as they swept through D1 this year, being the first D2 team ever to do that. So it's going to be very interesting to see come playoff time, and then also come state time as well as that team. I mean, we talked about it on Wednesday. You had the Zach Lane line rolling right there. A couple other kids right there whose names just
Stinari and Dominic.
Stinari and Dominic as well. I mean, we saw Dominic with just a rocket from the point that actually ended up winning the game. So, I mean, it just absolutely Lane won the game. Did Lane win the game?
Lane
won the game, but Dominic ended up with a great shot as well. So, just kudos to the Coyotes, and they just keep on rolling.
Yep, they've won 11 in a row, and like you said, 6-0 against.
Yeah, but the reason, they have a nemesis out there.
That's
That's
Patio.
They're 12-2 this year.
Yep.
Urbano.
And they've lost both their losses 3-0 to Pacific.
And don't forget, they also lost 3-1, and I think they were really excited when they scored that last goal in Vegas. Remember when they scored that goal in Vegas? They thought they won the Stanley Cup after that.
That's right. They finally beat
them. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. Boy, I wish they'd play again, but maybe we'll talk about that later.
Maybe, perhaps we will. Vegas Gray beat St. Mary's 8-1 on that same day. Jake Underhill, a couple of goals, 4 assists in that one. John Purdy added a couple of goals as well for the Knights as they got the win. Vegas White shut out by JSerra 10-0. Blake Reed with a hat trick and an assist. And Jake Hager had 2 goals and 4 assists in that one. That was that? I think that was Reed's first game back after. No, that was before that. Yeah. But he's had a couple of hat tricks in the last week and a half.
With that senior leadership that JSerra possesses with Hags and Reed, I mean, there's no stopping that. I mean, the sky's the limit for that team, and it's great to see.
Well, they seem to be playing better now. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I think, and we didn't really approach the subject with the coaching staff because I think it's a little bit of a sore subject. They didn't really have any practice ice for the first 3 months of the season.
Wow.
So and I know that only because I get the phone calls, and they were practicing once a week. Wow. And now they're here and they're practicing. They're making up for it. So you can see that their team play becoming better.
Yeah. And then a couple days later, they played Orange Lutheran, beat them 6-1. Connor Clark had a hat trick. We saw Connor here with us just a little bit ago. On February the 1st, Tahoe beat Vegas Gray 6-4. Tyler McNeil, a couple of goals and assists. Nice win for Tahoe there. Vegas Gray been playing better recently. That next day, Tahoe won again, 9-2 over Vegas White. McNeil had 4 goals.
My goodness.
He had 6 goals in 2 days there. Damien beat Vegas Gray 6-3. Jalen Cordura had a couple of goals for
There's
the
a
Spartans.
surprise.
Capistrano United 10-3 winners over Tahoe. Merrill Stinari had 5 goals in that game, and he won Player of the Week honors last
Why?
week.
I don't understand why.
Say that again.
He won the Pacific Premier Bank 3-star of the week.
Thank you
Star of
for the week.
from
Thank you.
Division 2 last week.
Nice save.
You're welcome.
We got to talk about that.
We have an official sponsor for that.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
That's new.
Yes.
I forgot to put that in the notes. But thank you. Thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
that. February 6th, Santa Margarita beat Olu 3-1. That game was a couple of days ago. Tyler Badami had a couple of goals in that one for the Eagles. And it's basically that win right there that keeps them keep destiny in their own hands for the rest of the season.
You'd expect that from a team that's used to being in first place too. So it's going to be interesting to see how this the end of the season plays out. And you know what? I'm not betting against them. I'll tell you that much.
And then Wednesday night, that same night, Chuck and I were there for Capistrano United and JSerra. Coyotes won it 6-2. Jake Posner had a couple of goals and an assist. He was our first star of the game in that one. Damien beat Bosco 8-3 right after that game. 2 goals and 3 assists for Jalen Cordura. I mentioned his name twice already for Damien's last 2 games. He's the straw that stirs the drink for the Spartans.
That's 7 points right there. As you mentioned, 2 goals beforehand in the game beforehand, and 2 goals right here. And throwing a couple of 3 dimes right there. I mean,
number 2's a strong player. I mean, he's a very fast. First of all, he's fast.
He was my pick for fastest skater.
Yeah. I think he's a very good player. He's a headsy player. And he can shoot the puck. He's fast. He's a triple threat. I mean, he's out there doing everything you need him to do. He'll mix it up in front of the net. He's not afraid about breaking his teeth. So the guy's a little machine.
That's true. Yeah. Which he actually did this year.
Yeah.
Did he break his teeth?
He did.
Wow.
Yeah. It's in Vegas. Was it in Vegas?
Team California.
Team California. That's what it was.
Yeah.
In St. Louis. That's right. Last year.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then yesterday, JSerra beat Orange Lutheran 5-1. Blake Reed, hat trick and an assist. That was his first game back after serving the 1-game suspension. Capistrano beat St. Mary's yesterday 4-3. 2 goals for Zach Lane. We talked about that game. That was a lot of fun.
Well, the game went in with 3 minutes left in the third period, so a clutch shot. I think if I remember right, he stole it somehow in the top of the offensive zone and
went right to the laser.
Fired a laser in the corner.
Went downtown. It was like with 100 seconds left, something like that, was it?
1:13.
Yeah.
1:13 left. Yeah, and I remember that because you and I had talked right after that goal about that almost would have been the first overtime game ever
here
in this building.
Yeah.
He was the one who brought up the stat to me, and that's why I didn't say anything. And then we
were short on time.
So you did it on purpose. I see. All right. Well, that makes sense. Always thinking operationally. That brings us to the standings now in Division 1, which on my sheet here have changed a little bit since a couple of games have been played. JSerra won this morning, so they jump up to first place right now ahead of Damien in Division 1. They have 34 points. Damien's at 33. Both of those teams have finished their regular season. That's where things get interesting because Santa Margarita's got 2 games left, and they are 2 points behind Damien and 3 points behind
Well, 3 through
JSerra.
7 are set.
Yeah.
So
Damien.
Yeah. Damien, Tahoe, Olu, Bellarmine, St. Mary's are all set in their playoff positions.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yep.
But what about Damien, though? Damien's not set yet, so 4 through 7 are set, right?
Damien's played 16 games.
As you see, we're well prepared as they take care of this.
They've played 16 games.
Yeah, but they haven't played yet. Santa Margarita has.
So we have 1 and 2.
I'm going to start doing my song and dance.
JSerra jumped up to 1.
They're going to argue about
it's SM1.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3 are still yet to be.
No, 3 set. Trust me.
No.
I looked at it all day today.
He said he looked at it today.
No,
all right.
I'm not the expert like
I'll have
you.
a scenario, playoff scenario writing session next week.
Email at 4 a.m. Email at 4 a.m. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Anyway,
Tahoe, Orange Lutheran, Bellarmine, St. Mary's will fill out 4 through 7, which means one of those matchups is all set. So Tahoe is going to play Orange Lutheran in a first-round game, and that's our first playoff game that we know will be set. And is that game? That game's here, right? Is it here? Or is it in Anaheim? We'll have to go
the schedule, yeah. I've been looking at a lot of schedules lately.
I bet. Your head's probably spinning. Tonight we have a couple of more games on the schedule. St. Mary's plays Orange Lutheran at 6:20 right here at 5 Point Arena. And then at Icetown Carlsbad later on tonight, Santa Margarita, Pacific Ridge. We talked about that. It's senior night for the Firebirds. And that game's got a lot of implications.
It's going to have a big crowd. It's going to be, as hostile as a hostile environment can be in our league. I think that's going to be it for Santa Margarita.
That's going to be like, that's a different barn altogether. So teams that go down there have some problems.
Capo experienced it on the front end of the season.
I was going to say more or less.
Yeah. I would say it's going to be more because now the season's into it and everybody's aware of it. So I think it's going to be a little bit more crazy.
It'll be interesting how they travel up. Well, we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. So anyway.
There's a lack of seats in that building. There's going to be a lot of standing room only.
It's a home barn.
Exactly. It literally is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Division 2. Rewinding to January 26th, Pacific Ridge beat Vegas White 6-0. Luke Stengler a couple of goals and assists for the Firebirds in that one. La Jolla Country Day beat Bosco 5-2. Justin Kaufman with a goal and 2 assists. He's been making the Tories go all season, and he's one of the leading scorers in Division 2.
I didn't realize until the All-Star game what a dynamic offensive force that Kaufman is. But you want to talk about the straw that stirs the drink right there? It's Justin Kaufman, and he's going to make life very interesting for the Tories come playoff time.
Yeah, he really is. And then moving on to the 30th of January, Capistrano United beat La Jolla Country Day 4-2. Zach Lane, couple of goals for the Coyotes.
We've heard this one before.
Have we, right?
I'm telling you.
Tories came back and beat Vegas White 5-4 on February 1st. Christos Georgaklis had 2 goals. Brady Zagras had 3 assists for the Tories in that win. Pacific Ridge beat Vegas Gray 7-3. Tyler Mazzella 2 goals and an assist for the Firebirds in that victory. And that brings us to the standings in D2. And again, just lots of things not settled down here. Capistrano up top right now with 35 points at 12-2. They control their destiny. They win their last 2 games. They win the division for the regular season. Pacific Ridge is in second with 31 points. They're going to be the 1 or the 2 headed to the postseason. It's just between those 2 teams at the top.
You say that the game's very interesting for Santa Margarita, but hey, you know what? For the Ridge as well, it's going to be very interesting for them as well. And I think, you know what? You want to talk about something to propel you into the playoffs right there. Defeating the national championship or defeating the national champion is one way to get some steam rolling when you come playoff time.
I think at the start of the year, we thought Capo and Bosco would be racing for 1-2 because that's just natural for us to do. We knew Pacific Ridge would be good. I'm not sure we knew they'd be this good.
I think it's. I would call it the report card jinx. Actually, the positive report card jinx. Honestly, I think we helped. I would like to take
report card reinforcement.
Yeah, there you go, right there. I think we helped propel that team and lift them on a pedestal, and they've taken off since then.
So I would like to take
want us to have exactly. Exactly. I would like to take full responsibility. The 3 of us, at least, would like to take full responsibility. And we'll give Perky some. We'll give Perky some credit too. But I think it was a good.
Neutral.
Okay, but I would just like to take credit. I'll take his credit then, and we'll take. I got 2/3. You got 1/3, and you're welcome. Anyway, next year,
math.
Yeah, there you go.
2/3 and 1/3.
There you go.
La Jolla Country Day is sitting right now in 3rd place. They are locked in. No, not quite yet. St. John Bosco's got a couple of games left as well, so the 3 and the 4 could flip. Vegas Gray could actually move up into the 4 spot as well, and they've got a couple of games left this season. Vegas White is going to stay in that 6th spot. And they will have, at 3 points in the standings, they still have a couple of games left in the regular season, but I think those games...
They play Vegas Gray three times.
Well, I think the Tories are hoping that La Jolla Country Day and St. John Bosco switch right there, because don't forget the Ridge has lost twice. Their only 2 losses have consisted of losses to the Tories.
Yeah.
So,
but we know Capo and Pacific Ridge are going to get that first round bye straight to the semifinals, which is the all-important thing that you try to get during the regular season. So Capo Pacific Ridge this Wednesday coming up at 4:30 p.m. It'll be here at Great Park Ice. That could be fun.
Wow.
It's an early one. It's a matinee game at 4:30.
Are we doing that
this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Are we doing that one?
I don't know. Are you doing that one?
I'll be there at 4:30. I can be there at 4:30. 3:30 I can't. 4:30
I may not be here for that one.
Interesting. We might have to get some coverage. Vegas Gray and Vegas White will kick off their rivalry. They haven't played yet this year, have they?
No, they play 3 times in a week.
We're going to be there for that one?
Together. That game's at Sobe Ice Arena in Las Vegas.
Chuck, you're on
Chuck's
it.
volunteering for that one.
Chuck's on it.
What a surprise. So that's the Division 2 recap. We move on to Division 3, and we're going to stick to all the games that have seeding implications near the top of the conferences, just in the interest of time. Central Cathedral beat Upland Christian Academy on January the 26th, 5-0. Francisco Lopez, a couple of goals in that one for the Jets. Edison beat Santa Margarita 9-1. Stephen Bedard had a hat trick and 3 assists in that one, a 6-pointer.
Central Cathedral team's a sleeper team, I think.
Yeah. They were hanging out at the top of the standings for a while.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're surprisingly, yeah, it's good.
Corona Norco did Corona Norco things. They beat Vegas 13-1. Cody Vadebonker had 4 goals and an assist. And guess what? Buckley Roberts did the exact same thing. And Roberts now has 5 hat tricks or more this season.
My goodness. What do you mean or more?
Like a 3-goal game or a 4-goal game.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you meant 5 games or more. It's like going, how many games does he have? Okay. All right.
3.
I understand.
5
I
hat trick pluses.
That's impressive. Wow. That's very impressive. My goodness.
Yeah, he's on an absolute tear. North County beat Bishop Amat 9-3. Garrett Detweiler had a hat trick and an assist. And Keelan Alton for North County had 2 goals and 3 assists as well. Look out for them. I know they played a game here last night against Edison.
They lost 3-2.
North County lost 3-2.
Yeah,
so
good game. Yeah.
Esperanza didn't
That was
brightly
a
shine.
late rescheduled game.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that one. I think they started around 9:30 last night. That was a
9:10.
9:10. Okay, wasn't that late. But. All right, January 30th, Beckman beats Irvine United 2-1. Braden Fleming had a couple of goals in that one for the Patriots, who then came back and turned around 2 days later and beat Placentia Yorba 8-3. Kenton Wilson and Andy Talabai had 2 goals and 2 assists each, and the Patriots finding a rhythm here toward the end of the season. They beat Servite 11-0 the next day.
Wild West.
Georgios and Ryan Fehrenbach each had a hat trick, so the Patriots finding their scoring groove at the end of the year.
Exactly. It's going to be very interesting to see, especially, I mean, the defending champions going to try to hold on to that crown that they went undefeated with last year. So don't count it. Never count out the Patriots.
Nope. Edison beat Placentia Yorba 9-0. Clay Bozanich and Evan Osterkamp had a couple of goals each. And maybe the game of the week last week in Division 3, Central Cathedral and Corona Norco. 4-3, the Jets beat the Stingrays. Israel's Frankowitz had 3 assists in that one. Jets had 4 unanswered goals in the third
period. I remember,
down 2-0 in that game.
My
Scored
goodness.
4 in a row. Corona Norco got 1 late, and it ended up being 4-3. But job well done for the Jets to hold them to 3.
Yeah. Oh well, that's those 2 top teams. You'd expect that game to be that way.
I think they're the first team to.
I can only imagine what the Central Cathedral coach was saying on the bench. I mean, Brad's a great guy, but he gets a little fiery. So the pain is probably no longer on the wall.
Well, they were the first team to hold Corona Norco to less than a touchdown in quite some time. They held them to a field goal. But it's tough to hold those teams.
Goal line defense does it. Yep.
Villa Park beat Santa Margarita 9-0 a couple days ago. Alex Villa, Martin Torres had a hat trick each. There were a few games played here yesterday. We talked about Edison beating North County. I know those other 2 games we have listed on there were late last night.
Poway won.
Yeah, Poway was up on Beach Cities.
And Central won.
And Central Cathedral beat Bishop Amat.
Yeah.
So if you take a look at the standings at this particular point in time, Corona Norco on top of the Catella Conference with 31 points. Villa Park has 30. Amat hanging down there at 23. Those are your top 3 teams who kind of separated from the pack in the Catella Conference. It's the Douglas Conference that seems to be just a little tighter now.
My goodness.
Edison is at 31 points. Central Cathedral is at 30. Poway is at 24. Those are your top 3 teams. Capistrano United is 4th with 21, and Irvine United is 5th with 20. And none of the playoff seeds, I think, in Division 3 are set yet, because they've all got a little more.
They got a few more games to play.
Than everybody else around the 4-5
schedule
range.
maker's nightmare, and you know what? Nothing more deserving than the schedule maker having to wait to the end of this for this one. So anyway, just my 2 thoughts.
Thanks, Chuck.
Speaking of the schedule,
I'll let the schedule maker know that.
We should tell the schedule maker about it. You're right. Tonight, Beach Cities and Servite play over at Lakewood at 4 o'clock. Irvine United, Villa Park at 5 o'clock, right here at Great Park Ice.
That's a senior day for Villa Park as well.
Yes, it is for the Spartans.
Yep.
UCA and Beckman at 7 o'clock over at Lakewood. Santa Margarita, North County, 9 p.m. here at Great Park Ice.
9
tonight,
p.m.
and that
may end up starting a few minutes early.
That game's on the Olympic sheet or NHL 3?
If it's starting early, it's going to start on a different rink.
Move things around if we have to, kind of like we did yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, good to be back here. This is my first show here.
I think you're missing a couple of big things. One, 2 weeks is the next show, and we're going to reveal something that I'm kind of excited to see how the results turn out.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure the best way to what you call it. The top. I don't want to say the. What do you call it? The top all.
It's
all
the
team?
all ADHSHL teams of all time.
Team, but players.
And this has had to be delayed several weeks.
It's kind of like all pro in professional sports. Where you vote for players.
Yeah, well, it's like you're like the NFL's all 50th anniversary team. Yeah,
so we're picking 2 teams.
Yes. So
And I'll tell you what,
forwards.
this has been delayed 3 weeks because there's been a lot of arguments amongst the people that have chosen. So just to warn you that we might have to delay it a little bit longer too. So we'll wait and see if cooler heads will prevail and just listen to somebody. Everything will be all right.
Done in 2 weeks because it's going to be done in 2 weeks.
Okay.
On his little Chiron, his graphic nameplate that we put on the show, can we just say head antagonist from now on?
I know.
Yeah.
Jeez. But in 2 weeks, we're going to name. So in essence, it's the top 2 goalies of all time, top 4 defensemen of all time, and top 6 forwards of all time.
12 will be broken up into the first team and the second team.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
Could
3, 2,
somebody
and 1
playing
knowledge.
tonight be on that team? You'll have to find out.
Top
is
2
that right?
goalies. How many goalies have played in this?
Yes, exactly. We've already one's already been established. So that's
The
glad you
ballot,
know that.
the ballot is attempted to be narrowed down as we speak.
yeah, well, the box has been stuffed on at least the top goalies. So
I think that's going to be as interesting as a conversation as you'll ever get. I think that's going to
the
be
toughest because you only can pick 2.
Yeah, I think that's exciting.
Everything else, the pool's a little bit bigger. It's not
Yeah,
massive,
but the
bigger.
pool is bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
there's more forwards.
There's more forwards.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit easier to narrow down, though, is the issue.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we'll find out. That'll be on February 23rd when we do the show from here at 5 Point Arena.
There's not a couple more forwards too. I got to throw in the hat too. So anyway,
That's true. Our next show will also be our playoff preview. We will know
Playoffs?
all the seeds,
The brackets.
and the brackets will be released.
Well, for the most of it, there's still games to be played when the show goes on, though.
Oh, that's true.
So that being said,
Good
it
point.
may not
So
be.
for the most part-
For the most part, I think he'll be set.
I think D1 and D2 will be completely
Yes,
set by
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, D3.
No,
will be-
because there is a D2 game that day.
I'll be dressed
There's
up
a
as
D2
Vanna,
game. Is it one
sitting there
that's,
right there.
important to the
Bosco and somebody. I think it's maybe a crossover game.
Oh, is
so-
it Bosco Santa Margarita, I think.
Yes.
Oh, so maybe none of the brackets will be set
So-
by the time
yeah.
we do the show.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, final thoughts. Did I miss anything?
Team California.
Team
We got Team
California
California.
tonight. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's
Team
kinda why I
The
had you.
tryouts. Thanks. Appreciate it. Glad I could fill in. Team California tryouts today, tomorrow for the top 20 juniors and seniors in the state,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a big deal. Go to America Showcase, Team California. America Showcase in St. Louis in April. It's a pretty, there's 200-something scouts there, just get to the next level. And Coach Doviello has coached it for 8 years. He's the head coach this year. So we have Coach Perkins joining us along this year. So it's a kind of a reunion of sorts. But Perkins knows every scout on God's green earth. So, I think if you make this year's team, you'll have a pretty good chance of trying to moving on if you want. So, Team California tryouts are going to be, there's I think there's close to 70 kids on the tryout list. So it's going to be a pretty competitive team. We're excited. So, I get that to look forward to.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I know the kids who try out for that and go out. I got to watch one of the tryouts last year out at Anaheim, and those kids are going hard during, I think they were holding the scrimmage.
Yeah.
And just letting everybody kind of go out there and get a feel for everything. And some of those kids acted like it was a playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, the level that they play is high in St. Louis. I mean, it's a high level to play. So you're playing, Illinois and the Colorados and the New Englands and the Pittsburghs and the Philadelphia. It's great hockey. So if you think you're good, there's better kids out there. So it's always great to play up in that competition. So it's good.
They won a few games last year in the showcase as well.
Yeah, they won 3-1. The only loss was to Colorado, who was a great team, and they had George Decky, who used to coach University of Denver.
That sounds like an advantage.
He coaches high school in Colorado. It's like, goodness gracious. So it's good. It's good.
Wow. A lot to look forward there.
We'll get Chuck out for a tryout. Have him pick a team.
I'll pick a team. Be a winner.
It'll be a winner.
Be a winner.
Oh my goodness. Special thanks as we wrap up our 8th episode of the season.
Eighth.
Wow.
Eighth.
Wow. You sure it's not the 9th because you missed one?
No, it's the 8th.
Okay.
Counted. Our 9th will be in 2 weeks, and then our 10th will be the season end review.
The recap show.
The recap show at the end of the year. So a nice even 10.
So what's next? So the next show is what? 2
February
weeks.
23rd.
Playoffs.
Preview.
Recap. Season recap.
All-time
No
teams.
schools, right? No schools.
No schools next week. No, we have
Just
finished
us.
our rotation of schools for this year.
I feel
We
bad
got
for
through almost everyone.
I feel bad for St. Mary's. Couldn't make it.
Yeah,
but
we tried.
Yep.
I know they're coming down from north, and it's tough
Yep.
to get on the schedule. They were the only one we couldn't get to, but we'll find a way to get them in somehow in other capacities.
So back to next week. Playoffs. Season recap.
All-time team.
All-time team.
ADHSHL team.
Founder of high school hockey.
The founder of high school hockey will be here.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah, we
It's
got a
going
lot
to be a
going
big
on.
episode.
I'm glad we have 2 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah.
And not just 7 days.
Willie O'Ree's going to be here?
What's that?
Willie O'Ree's going to be here?
No. High school hockey.
He founded high school.
California.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Here.
Oh, I know who that is. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean
We're
that.
back.
There you go.
Yeah, and a hint, it's not me.
I know. That's why I said I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean that. There you go.
It's not me.
Oh, goodness. Special thanks, as always, Sandy Dickerson from Black Dog Hockey for letting us use all this wonderful equipment and being able to stream this online for you here today. Of course, we want to thank Archate from the Anaheim Ducks as well. Big thanks to Eddie Hawkins, the general manager here at 5 Point Arena, for letting us set up.
I actually tried to let it get him on here.
Did you?
Yeah, he didn't want to get on.
We're going to get him eventually.
Yeah, we will.
But more importantly, we have internet here now.
Do you?
Had internet.
Yeah.
Is it fast?
I believe
How is
so.
it? Is it good, Christian?
Christian says yes.
So Andy's happy too?
Andy's not here today.
Oh, well. Okay.
Andy's on a much-needed vacation.
Good for him.
Like that.
Heard Andy's coming down for the playoffs.
I heard the same thing.
Because the boss is going to be in town.
Boy, straighten up everything. Here we go.
Yeah.
We'll be ready to go.
That's for you, Chuck. Straighten up.
Yeah, wear shoes.
That'd be nice on a regular basis also.
Yeah.
And a big thanks, of course, to Christian Hilton, who actually got battle tested today. He was beat up a little bit.
Yeah, he was taking it on the chin, in the eyes, on the ground.
Yeah.
Watching him roll was not a thing of beauty, but it worked.
It got
Stomach like a Navy SEAL was just absolute
I was going to grab my camera, but it was over there. I was going to pull the camera out.
He had to fix my mic 3 times.
His better half would have probably liked it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Because he is spoken for, ladies.
Yes. Well, so, yes, he is.
Any help with my mic situation? I'm on my 3rd mic.
The only thing wrong with him is he's an Angels fan.
Yeah, well, we can. Oh wow.
Took a hit here in the greater Anaheim area.
Yeah.
Nice. At least we're out of Anaheim today, so you can live in, I guess. With the Ducks logo plastered right in front of us here.
Now, you might want to cover that up after today's game too. So anyway.
And of course, thank you to the FCC for not throwing us off the air because of him. No. For Chuck Lasik, Matt Blanchard, I'm Eric Pesolano saying so long from Great Park Ice, 5 Point Arena here in Irvine, California. We'll see you in 2 weeks for our final regular season The Report Card on Facebook Live. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye. That was awkward. Thank you to everyone for not moving during that.